Lions TV, this is the Den Daily, bringing you all the latest gossip, views and transfer news from in and around the Den. This morning, London News Online, Richard Cowley, the ever reliable Rich, has gone with a story, well, he's gone with the headline, that West Ham have been credited with an interest in Millwall's young winger, Tyler Burey. Read into that headline what you like, but Gary Rowett has come out and responded to it, and I'll cover that a little bit later on in this video. But yeah, to start with, Tyler Burey has sort of set the world alight, shall I say. Look, I'll be honest, he joined the club in 2019 from AFC Wimbledon, brought to the club, of course, by our ex-manager, Neil Harris. He'd already played a couple of times for Wimbledon first team, but then come to Millwall and went straight into our under-23 side and never really materialised. I watched a lot of the 23s. He had the power, he had the pace, he had the greed, the self-indulgence. I don't mean that in a bad way, because we love them type of players at Millwall. As we know, they get bums off seats, and that's what we like to see, as well as tough tackling, no-nonsense players. We do love a little bit of Paul Ifill, a little bit of Christoph Kinney, a little bit of flair down the wings, and he was that type of player. However, he had zero end product, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't ever think it was going to work out for Tyler. He then goes out on loan after spending a long time in the 23s and not really getting anywhere or progressing at our club. He goes out on loan to Hartlepool. He plays 7 games for them, scoring 3 goals. Played as an out-and-out striker for Hartlepool. Scored some really, really good goals and helped them be up near the top of the table at the start of the season. He then got injured and returned to Millwall and began his long quest back to fitness. He came back, I think it was about 10 weeks he was out. But he's come back and he's just hit the ground running. He's forced his way into the first team. Again, you know, I think that's partly to the long injury list we have had. And at points, I don't think Rowett had any other option than to use him. But he grabbed his opportunity with both hands. And since coming into the first team, a couple of sub-appearances, then he was getting his starts. And he seems to have got that final product. He's absolutely fearless as a winger, as we know. He can play on the right or on the left. I actually prefer him on the left, cutting in. And he scored some good goals and become an integral part of this good run that we've been on, scoring fantastic goals at home to Queen's Park Rangers and away to Derby. As I said, full of confidence, and now does seem to have added that end product and the right decision making to his game. He, of course, played a big part in the first goal against Hull. Scott Malone sort of deflected his shot. It was great work from Tyler down that left-hand side. Billy Mitchell dummy. Scott Malone, we'll say he meant it, we all know he didn't. And that day at the Den, Jake Sanders online again, the ever-reliable, come out with a story that David Moyes, of course, the West Ham manager, and Thomas Frank, the Brentford manager, were both present at the Den that day. They was apparently watching Lewis Potter, who plays for, his first name I can't remember, but Lewis Potter's his double-barreled second name, the young Hull star who's scoring a lot of goals and creating a big stir, and is expected to go on to bigger and better things in his career. So while they're there, you know, I think it's international break as well. It's local to them, yes, but they definitely would have been eyeing up the talent, and Gary Rowett has alluded to that fact that they could well be watching Tyler, they could well be watching Billy Mitchell, and of course Zach Lovelace, the young 17-year-old who was broken through also into the Millwall first team this season. Do I think it's a little bit soon for Tyler? You know, it's a rumour, yes. As I always say, it will definitely have legs, otherwise Richard Cowley would never have gone with it. London News Online, he's, I say, ever reliable. So I mean, Tyler's dropped out of our first team a little bit now, and that's due to Ollie Burke coming back to fitness and Bradshaw Anaphobia now being available. He's sort of been out of the team a little bit and coming back off the bench. I actually like him starting, because I like to think you get what you can out of him, and then once he's out of legs, you know, bring on Ollie Burke, who's full of power and full of pace, as I've said before. So, am I surprised they're watching Tyler? I'll be honest, I am a little bit. As I've said, it's been like almost like a meteoric rise out of nowhere, because I always say if you're not in and around the first team by the time you're 21 years old, then it's time to move on. I see some really good players, some of them currently as well, from our club languishing in the 23s and not progressing. But the loan definitely did him a favour. He's coming to our first team. I think he's more than capable now in our first team. I think he's a great weapon to our armoury, and I think he's more than useful in this division. I say he seems to be really starting to kick on now. It can happen later on in players' careers. I say later, he's only 21 years old, but I never saw this coming from Tyler, and now he is attracting interest from West Ham. Allegedly, I don't know, read into that headline what you like. I'll put it on the screen. Look, West Ham have been credited with an interest in Tyler Burey. It's a little bit vague, but as I said, there'll definitely be weight and legs behind it if it's come from London News Online, of course, the digital version of the old newspaper, the old school South London Press. Who reads a paper anymore? I used to do that every day when I was a roofer. I don't ever read a paper anymore. But there you go. Life moves on, and we talk about it on YouTube instead. So yeah, that's your first video of today. Of course, there will be a preview out later for Peterborough at home on Saturday. It's almost a sold-out den. We'll watch us try and push one last time for the playoffs. But yeah, Den Daily today, the news. West Ham are interested in Tyler Burey. So that's your lot for the Den Daily. I'll see you later on, as already said, for a preview for Peterborough this Saturday. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.